a golfer that struggles to get a tee time, you get super frustrated in your city, your town, that all the tee times are booked up and you just don't have access and you don't have the ability to get on the courses with your friends that you want to? Or are you a golf course owner or operator that are tired of other golf booking apps that perhaps make you do it for free, or you're not making any money off of that? Well, today we have an entrepreneur, a founder, who is helping to solve both of those problems here as a golfer and as a golf course operator. And that is Kelly Gold with TeeFox.golf. I had Kelly join me on the ModGolf podcast. We just finished up a long form audio conversation, which I really encourage you to go back and have a listen to. But right now we're going to do something a little different, including a demo of their platform. So with that, first thing I'm going to do here is have Kelly join me. And there he is. Kelly, welcome back to ModGolf.
Yeah, welcome back. Long time no see. Glad to continue the conversation here about golf and TeeFox.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as I mentioned here, we are going to have a different conversation because I do want to encourage our viewers to become listeners, to learn about the aha moment, all the things you've done leading up to the creation of TeeFox Golf. But I do want to hear about the opportunities, what gets you excited as golf continues to grow and become more diverse. It is a problem that the fact there's only a limited inventory, because golf courses, once again, over the last 10 years or so, 15 years, more have closed than have opened. So there's even less inventory. So we're going to get into that question. Going to put that out there. But to start here again, why don't you let our viewers know what's going on with TeeFox Golf?
Yeah. So quick elevator pitch. TeeFox is the easiest way to get tee times. And we have or will have the largest tee time catalog in the United States at public golf courses. So we have about 7,000 golf courses today. You can search them. And if you don't find a time you like, you can get on the wait list where you can choose to just get a text message alert. And if a tee time pops up, or even have our concierge book it for you and just send you the details. So a lot of functionality, a lot of optionality, just trying to modernize kind of the golf booking systems.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And okay, we're going to get right into it here, because the beauty of the fact that we have visuals here as compared to the podcast, when it's just you and I waving our hands in the air and painting pictures with our words, we are going to do a TeeFox Golf demo right now. So let me pull that up here. All right, I'm going to be looking at the other screen here because I am now a user. I'm already in here. So yep, I have an account here. So let's start. Maybe you can just guide me here with a couple of golf courses. I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, so you're not available here quite yet. So we're going to pretend that I live like you in the greater Denver area. So hey, I want to golf in the next week. I need a tee time. Let's do it. So guide me through. What should I do here?
Oh, let's put a few in. We can do City Park in Denver. That's a really popular course, probably one of the hardest to get onto.
This one here. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we can do let's do Indian Tree. That's a local course that I've played a lot and I really enjoy.
Indian Tree, you said. Oops, hopefully I spell it properly. There we go.
Yep,
all right.
there. And let's throw Eagle Trace on there because they always have tee times open. So
Eagle Trace. There we go. All right. So let's start with those three. I'm itching to play a round of golf here. Let's make it happen. So right now let's start with two players here, just me and a buddy. And let's say right now when we're recording this, this is 8 days out, that with August 28th here. So let's say that's the time, and I've got a bit of flexibility when we can tee up between 9 and 2. That's the parameters that we've set here, and that's what we're going to go with. So I'm just going to click here, nice and easy that you've made it here. I realize that visual prompt. I just click on that and away we go.
That's right. Yep.
Here we go.
Button, few seconds. Now, important call out here is all of this is live data.
Yes.
So we're actually checking tee times in real time and serving data for all these courses. So if you see a tee time here, that means it's available right now.
There we go. There we go. So we've got availability on all three of them. Now you said was it the City Park course that's the most difficult of the three to get onto?
Yeah, as you see, they only have one tee time, and that I think 8 days out, right? That's a Wednesday or a Thursday, so that's middle of the week. They're fully booked up.
Right.
And that's how high some of the utilization is at these courses, and why it's such a big problem and hard to get on. Imagine for people with a 9 to 5, right, trying to get out on weekends if it's fully booked on a Wednesday or Thursday.
Nice. So I should probably jump on that one right now. So let's click on this. So there we
Right.
go.
So now you
Boom.
get a couple of options here. You can check out, I don't think we've got a credit card on file, but you can just book it directly through us. But we also give you the option to book it yourself. There's a small fee if you do it through us. Some people really like that convenience. They like having just one website. But you can also get booking links right out to the platform of your choice. So if you already have an account there and you know the golf course, you play out there all the time, you can skip the fees and just book it yourself. So
Got
a
it.
lot
Got
of
it.
options there.
Well, let's do a different scenario here. Let's say the same time window, same day, but all of a sudden, two of my other friends have popped up and said, "I want to play that day too." So we're going to go with 4. Okay. And I see you also have a budget here. Let's say let's say we're feeling a bit more spendy that day. Let's say we're going to go for up to $120 per player here. So now I'm going to hit here. Let's see what we have.
Cool.
Now notice, okay, so with Eagle Trace and Indian Tree, there's times there, but coming down here, I see now we've got a wait list. So tell us about the wait list option. What's going on there, Kelly?
Yeah, so one of the most frustrating things to me as a golfer is that when I look for tee times, there are none. I mean, even if I go website by website, lots of times I was seeing there are no tee times. If it's Wednesday afternoon, I'm looking for Saturday morning, Sunday morning, good luck. But we know that there's a high level of cancellations at these courses. So 24 to 48 hours before you're at the actual tee time, a lot of availability ends up opening up. And so you can get on the wait list here if you click that add to wait list button. And we give you a couple of options. So you can choose to either have us book it for you, which means it's set it and forget it, right? If a tee time pops up between 9 and 2 at City Park, we'll book it and we'll email you all the information to check in. It'll just be under your name. You just check in like normal. Or you can just get a text message. Maybe you're not quite ready. You don't know if your friends are going to plan something this weekend, but you want to get a text if something opens up. You can have it send you a text and then you can book it yourself with that link there. So again, just what we really try to do here and really just on one page is bring all the best features that I've seen out there across these different tee time marketplaces, build the biggest catalog and then put it in one simple interface here.
Nice, nice. And as a tech founder, you obviously embrace the Eric Ries lean startup model here with minimum viable product. Not that this is minimal at all, but you probably get overwhelming or overly excited to build. Let's cram in as many features as we can. We want to do so many things here. It's like the Homer Simpson idea of building a car with 5 wheels. It's like, you know what? You don't need that. You need to balance that between the features that customers and golfers want the most without doing too much and build upon that. So talk about your kind of your feedback loop or even your design, build, test, iterate model of what you've done so far and what you're looking to do in the future, the future, what you can tell us about how you're going to innovate in the future and even add more benefits that you're hearing back from your users that people would like.
Yeah, so believe it or not, this is actually version 2 of our product. So we launched a first version, which was only the automated booking. So you could say one of these courses, this date, this time, the budget, and if something popped up, we'd book it and send you the details. But shortly after we built that first version, I realized that just how important and how much I wanted search, even as a user of our own tool. I was like, I hear from people, they want search. I really want search. Like we should have search. And once we kind of had the search and the bookings, the alerts were just like a natural progression of that. So I think we're really proud of the second version that we got to after that first one, and we saw things like some more cancellations. Maybe our funnel wasn't what we wanted it to be, so we listened to the feedback. We reached out to users, and we built the second version. Some things that I'm excited about to build next. Gosh, there's so many things people are asking for.
Right.
Some things that we're toying around with. People want to be able to rank their choices for the wait list. So if you have maybe 3 or 4 courses on there, being able to customize those wait lists. Adding a map view so you can scroll around like an Airbnb or a Zillow, so you can see tee times that way. So there's a lot of exciting like user experience stuff that we're working on for the app, just to make it, again, the best experience possible for booking tee times. Ultimately, that's our kind of our North Star.
Got it. Got it. Okay. One thing we talked about on the podcast is we're going to dig a bit into your personal entrepreneurial journey. And one of the questions I wanted to ask you, because it's not a straight line and not everything works. So even with the product here, because you've got a background in product also. So is there one example, maybe a feature you thought is like, people are going to love this, maybe something that you built and then you realized maybe people don't want that. And then you actually didn't let your ego get in the way, that then you went, okay, perhaps we ought to do a little less of this and a little more of that and listen to what the users want rather than that unfortunate founders syndrome of the ego getting in the way, is like, people just don't get it yet or they don't understand it. It'll take a little more time. So how have you balanced that with kind of sticking to your North Star, but perhaps refining and tweaking as you go when you see this maybe isn't the feature or the benefit that we thought was what we were assuming out of the gate?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think so. There's a good book that product people like myself enjoy called Inspired by Marty Kagan. And in there, he says, about 40% of your ideas will be wrong. So I try to bring that philosophy and mindset into what we're building, which is that basically you're going to make some bad choices, right? You're going to build some features that maybe aren't quite right the first time. And that's often the case, is even if it is the right thing directionally, maybe it's not right the first time, or it needs a little more work, or it's confusing to users, and that sort of thing. And actually what tripped me up the most, just when you asked the question, was we actually started with search. That was the first thing that we built. I had built search first, but what tripped me up there was I was like so caught up in how do I monetize this thing, that we kind of bogged it down into this box of doing only the bookings piece, and it was only
Right.
the automated bookings. And what I learned was like, oh, I was way too concerned about how to like build a business out of this thing, that I had gotten away from building just the best tool and the best user experience. And so we actually had to circle back to search, kind of as a second attempt, or kind of to fully flesh it out. But it was something we kind of initially explored and decided not to do, only to come back to it about 6 months or so later, hearing from users, and just also building the product, using it, and eating my own dog food, as they say,
Right.
and feeling the pain of like, why can't I just, knowing I can search all these tee times, like why not just give that to me? So we worked towards something that would allow us to give golfers, and really give everybody, businesses as well, the ability to access tee times and tee time data.
I find that interesting. And sometimes the sequencing of things, that it just wasn't, not that you shouldn't do it, but maybe it just wasn't quite the time. And then you came back to that when the timing was correct. Okay, so to finish up here, I want to ask you this, kind of digging more into your entrepreneurial experience, your background as in tech in that area, both inside and outside of golf. Uh, for entrepreneurs out there, are people that have an idea, maybe let's say it is tech based, whether it's an app or a platform or whatever that could be, but let's say they do not have a technical background like yourself, and they're a little bit paralyzed or don't know where to start and they're overwhelmed. What advice can you give, knowing that you don't have all the answers? You brought other people in and filled the gaps. To start off, what would you say the first couple of steps that you would recommend for people that have an idea to even get this thing going to the next level?
Yeah, there's probably two main things. If you're, specifically too, if you're non-technical. I know, myself, that's I started as an engineer, and I'm kind of learning the other facets of the business. But if you're non-technical, I think focusing on the customer and the customer pain points, the customer problem. I mean, that's what it's all about. And it's all about continually understanding that, and then building towards that, and refining and listening each step of the way. I've had conversations around our products where I reach out and it's not the right pricing model, or something scares them away. And then I, reach out a little later and you offer something a little different, and they're a little more interested. So there's a lot of learning that goes along with it. I think not being not being afraid to try things and fail, because it will happen almost inevitably. You're going to make some mistakes, and it's part of the process and part of the fun, I think. But yeah, just understanding the customer pain point and building towards that. I mean, that's how I think um, it's all like as a product guy, I'm really passionate about solving the actual, user pain points
Right.
and creating a good experience. And if you do those things, you can guide non-technical people, or sorry, rather, you can guide technical people with vision, right? And get them to believe in the vision and want to work on it with you and want to solve that problem with you. And that's actually been one of the weird, most unexpected things of building a company, was like, oh, I have to sell people on my ideas here, to have them come work for me, so, while we're bootstrapping and things like that. And the vision is so critical to that. What is this thing? What can it be? Why is it better than all the ones out there? That stuff's all really important to the people on my team that I've been building. They care a lot about what it can be, right? That's why they're here. So yeah, I think having a strong vision, having a strong understanding of the market, the customer pain points, those are all important things that at least I've learned. I mean, this is my first time venture here, so I only take it with a grain of salt, right? I'm learning too, but those are things that I think I've learned so far.
I love that. And you didn't mention the C word here, but I can sense this is where you're going with this too, and that is culture. It sounds like you're, but without actually being too over the top or trying to kind of socially engineer culture. It sounds like already you're creating this culture around what you're building that is inclusive, that is innovative, that you want people to experiment. They're not going to get punished for having an idea that maybe it doesn't work, that you're willing to kind of do that fail fast type of piece there. So can you tell us a little bit about that, of how that's influenced what you're doing? Because I've seen other entrepreneurs or companies, they start to scale and they grow, and then they look at culture as something, it may already be toxic or it doesn't exist. It's just a matter of putting your heads down and working. And then they're trying to actually add culture afterwards, like grafting a limb onto a tree that's already grown. It really doesn't work. So talk about with yourself of what you kind of bring, what you've learned of other places you've worked, and what you consider kind of the culture that you're building here with TeeFox Golf.
Yeah, I think first and foremost is letting your people do what they're best at. So it's easy sometimes as a founder to have my view or my way of thinking for how something should work. That doesn't mean that someone else's idea isn't better, and it's good to be open-minded and listen. And that's why you hire these people, is to ultimately come up with better ideas and help find breakthroughs that you might not even be able to find yourself. And so that would be one big thing, as just giving people the freedom to drive projects and deliver kind of the gains that only come out of giving someone autonomy. If you try to manage somebody, micromanage them, do this task, do that task, sure, they might be great at that. But I think where you get some of these gains is giving 20% of the time or something like that to find unlocks, to create new value, new gains that we otherwise wouldn't maybe get. And that's a big part of what I try to lead here. I also try to lead with transparency. So where we're at, what we need as a company. We're a small team at this stage, and so I think it's important that we all stay aligned around how do we best stay aligned around business objectives. A little transparency, I think, goes a long way. This is what we need in terms of our targets for subscribers and getting these contracts this year, et cetera. And this is why it's important. And connecting it all back for the engineers, I think, can be like a really powerful thing for the team. That I've been told that's something that's they're valuing. So I hope that continues as we grow and scale up here. But yeah, I think I'm still learning as I go. So I also try to take feedback from my team wherever they feel that I can improve as a leader as well.
I love that. And some of the nuggets of wisdom you just put out there, sounds like you're a way more sage than your age and how long you've been at this startup thing here. And then there's that difference between a leader and a boss or a manager. And it sounds like you're really empowering your team to be that best version of themselves, rather than just someone being there for a paycheck. Because then when things aren't working out or things get tough in an entrepreneurship, it's up and down, and there will be peaks and troughs. That people will, when the troughs hit, people will still be there because they're aligned around what everybody believes in here. So I love that. So thank you for sharing all that. So hey, to finish up here, you can see scrolling on the bottom here, as a viewer here, maybe you can give us a little bit of love here. If you like what we're doing here on ModGolf, these stories of innovation and with entrepreneurs, with awesome people like Kelly, so I can keep telling these or sharing these stories and giving Kelly and others a spotlight to showcase them. Why don't you subscribe to the ModGolf YouTube channel here? Give us a little thumbs up, leave a comment. I will promise to get back to you. That helps us grow, and everybody wins. Just like what Kelly's doing for golfers, for golf course operators, and for TeeFox Golf. It's a win-win-win. So with that, hey, I'll put it up there. There is your website. So hey, people want to look at that or download the app also with TeeFox. I'm assuming it's nice and simple of going to wherever it is that you download your apps to get TeeFox. Is that correct?
Just a website today. So we hopefully have a mobile app coming in the future. But you know, the Apple, they like to suck up 30% of all your money.
Right.
So that's we can charge you less by going on the website there,
That is
TeeFox.golf.
problematic. So,
Yep.
well, you saw the demo there. We gave that live demo, and thank you for navigating us through that. Kelly, appreciate that. And I believe you're on social media too. I just saw this on Instagram. That's your handle there.
Yeah, follow us. Come check out the website. Search for some tee times. You can do it all for free to get started. So there's no reason not to come check it out if you like playing golf.
Love it.
Would love it.
Love it. Well, there we go. As I mentioned, also I will include in the comments below there the link to our ModGolf podcast episode, which was engaging and insightful, fun and informative, I guess is a good way to put that. So with that, hey, Kelly, why don't we wrap it up here? Thank you so much for joining me on the ModGolf YouTube channel. And hopefully I'll see you again in person very soon. Maybe in Belfast again. You never know next year.
I'll be at some of these events coming up, so I'm sure we'll bump into each other at some point. And yeah, thanks for having me on the show. It was great chatting with you just about the golf industry. I had a ton of fun doing that in Ireland, and a lot of fun again today talking golf. I could do it all day with you.
Here we go.